Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man, and welcome to another episode of Regulatory Tuesday. This week, actually, these past 2 weeks, there's been a huge reduction in regulation from the Trump administration in Washington, D.C. And while I am listening to these warm tidings and glad joys that regulations are going to be reduced and reduced and reduced, it also brings me to the idea that we need to talk about why we've gotten to this point. Because, see, we didn't get to a point in this country where we believed the government should take care of us just out of the blue. It is not something that is new. It is not something that has happened in the past year, 5 years, 20 years. It is something that has been slowly building. And it started back in the 1800s with what was called the Progressive Populist Movement. Now, progressive populists thought that the government needed to step in and fix injustices, ills, and social differences in order to make society progress to a utopia. One of the most noted progressives was Theodore Roosevelt, who created the Bull Moose Party when he initially started running for public office and ran against Republicans. In fact, what are known today as rhinos, or Republicans in name only, primarily spawned from the Republican progressive movement. It is a very globalist ideology. It is a very socialist reform ideology. And the whole concept is the government should make things better than they are. Well, here's the truth. People dictating things never make things better. The only true social reform that you can have that is lasting and effective is one of choice, not authoritarianism. And we see progressivism in the Democrat Party as well, and it initiated during the initial foundings of the KKK and the women's temperance movement and the forcing of suffrage, which was a competitive ideology to stifle the black vote in what were traditionally southern areas. They figured if they could get the women to vote and the women would listen to the men and vote the way the men did, then the black vote wouldn't matter. And that was the initial push of the progressive movement of the Democrat Party. The progressive movement has been responsible for such fine things as the federal income tax, the New Deal, the Big Deal, NAFTA, the Vietnam War. Yeah. Prohibition, the global war on drugs, the global war on terrorism. There have been a lot of things that the progressive movement has created. And the problem is that we continue to try to blame Republicans or Democrats or these people who are socially liberal and these people who are anti-authoritarian or morally conservative as the problem. But the real problem is actually the progressive movement, because they're progressing towards what they want and not what everybody else wants. Society is a construction of everybody together. And if one group is the only group pushing the agenda, then it makes everybody else unhappy. So, remember that even though we have started repealing many of these regulations, more is still needed. We need to fight back on the progressive regulatory machine that has been pushing in this country for decades. And eventually, we might find a way clear of this crazy governmental authoritarianism and get back to something more resembling the small government, little r republicanism that was created with the Founding Fathers. Well, I want to thank you all again for joining me on this Regulatory Tuesday. Please remember to upvote and follow me on VidMe or thumbs up and subscribe on BitChute. Also, don't forget, I am syndicated still on YouTube. They haven't kicked me off yet, so I will continue contributing there. I also have the other social media down below. If you'd like to contribute to me at Patreon or Minds, it would be highly appreciated, as I do this channel pretty much out of my own pocket. Thank you all, and have yourselves a great day.